As an expert in this field, when it comes to the issue of blue economy, you've written several books, and I would like you to provide us a background and overview of what blue economy is all about. Specifically, we're looking at deep sea mining. I would like you to give us details of what it entails when you talk about deep sea mining, the processes, the technology involved, and then the trends globally. And we can also look at the opportunities inherent in deep sea mining. You have the floor now.
Okay, thank you very much. I am in the middle of travel, so this time I will provide short answers. Yes, blue economy is more or less a system of integrating marine activities so that the use of the ocean space can be done in an efficient and sustainable manner and also cost-effective manner. As I mentioned in our earlier exchange, doing business in water body is different from doing business in at sea. So blue economy involve maritime activities as well as new activities, traditional maritime activities that we are all familiar with, including shipping and related activities related to ports, shipping and port, and new activities related to cultivation of the ocean and exploration of ocean resources, okay, for either new material for the industries, etc., including deep sea mining.
For deep sea mining, as much as there are several minerals underneath the sea that the world may want to begin to explore, aren't you concerned about the disturbance it may cause to aquatic life and to the ecosystem underneath the sea?
Okay, yes, deep sea mining actually is something that is being debated worldwide now. Yes, mining has economic potential, and places where mining has been done in the past, um, there are a lot of problems that arise on land for many years where they are not sustainably done. For example, if mining is done in some places, the miner must also prove that, okay, after they finish all the extraction, what they are going to do with the space. For example, on land, there are possibility to create lake, for example, and this can have some benefit, or to create some forest. This can have some benefit, but most of the time, these are not properly done as well because of shortcuts in implementation. For example, when people are creating forests, they plant the same trees, which monoculture cultivation, which creates even more problems. Now, when it comes to deep sea mining, conservation activities like this, like creating lake or forest, is almost impossible. And there are there are impacts related to disturbance of aquatic habitat life, biodiversity, even sediment. And not only that, even without mining the ocean, we have seen that the number one extreme event threat is flooding. Now, if this deep sea mining is introduced, meaning we are creating the end to ourselves, the end to the planetary systems. So I think the negative when you compare negative and positive, of deep sea mining, the negative area and impact is more than the positive. It's just the same thing like comparing nuclear power benefit and advantage and disadvantage. So there will be tremendous impact. I'll give you one example. And this example is very close to you at home. You know, the um, the dredging, a lot of dredging work that is going on, especially in Lagos coast, um, it leads to, they are good because they prevented flooding in one area. But water is, and nature is always finding ways, and it's always making sure it's going at its own space. And this kind of activities, they are causing problem in other areas. For example, they are causing erosion in other area that those who did this never thought about. So that will be tremendous impact of for deep sea mining. So
Understanding of some of the minerals deposited in the seabed, talking about sea mining, I still want you to dwell more on the potential, even though we need to talk about the problems. But for those who want to invest in this kind of venture, what kind of technology is needed? What kind of expertise is needed? And what are the potentials for whoever is going to invest in this, either as an individual or as a nation?
okay, to do deep sea mining, there need to be thorough environmental impact assessment. So environmentalists must be involved. The science need to be done properly. There is no shortcut about from A to Z. Every detail need to be accounted for, and the whole process need to be simulated. So you need expertise for all of this, and on top of that, you also need heavy machineries and even mere cultivation work like aquaculture or moving the ship in the ocean are not cheap, and they are very expensive, and they are laborious, and they attract loss of equipment and also loss of life. Now, mining is more of intense activities, and um I think there will be need for expertise to environmental expertise, and also um, modeler engineering modeler to model the impact, what will happen before um, the implementation of deep sea mining. And these are not cheap, and this takes time. And normally the business world like to do things very fast. So for deep sea mining, everything need to be done properly in detail, and it need to be really well regulated. So these are the expertise that will be involved: the engineers and the environmentalists, and also the regulators, as well as um, also third party reviewer, and also collaboration is required. Now, I think for Africa, my suggestion is um, we should try to do sustainable mining online. We do it in a sustainable way, and make sure that we don't destroy most of the land itself, because the land to the sea ratio is 70-30. So yeah, there is some risk here. Now, yes, the ocean is big, it's wide, but the ocean regulates the planetary system, the temperature, the climate, the wind is set up from the ocean, and the waves and everything. So the moment you touch every piece of the oceans, all of these things change.
Okay, like you rightly mentioned, mining activities have been going on the land, and they've been mining minerals from minerals deposited in the land. So why is the attention now turning to the sea? The minerals found in the sea, can't they be found anywhere in land?
Yes, I think in most places where intense mining is going on, most of the space has been used to mine, and uh, in some developed economy, mines are closed because of the age of knowledge, sustainability knowledge. The people are aware that, okay, something is going to go wrong with the future generations, so people are closing mining. And in some cases, they only do it when it is really, really necessary. For example, in Germany, coal mines are being closed, and people are protesting every day, every time they want to do it again. Now, in Africa, people are getting up to do mining, and this need to be done carefully, because in our continent, we don't face extreme event like other places. And if we do intense mining, industrial mining, there will be socio-economic problems, and also there will be also, it might also create other new extreme event that, for example, earthquake and all of this. The tectonic plate of the planet uh, might be, touched in the process. So land mining also we need to be careful about this. Yes, we need the mineral, and yes, if we need them, and we need them to develop the economy, if the science is well done, then we can mine, but it has to be done sustainably. Now, turning to the sea, it's very rosy. Yes, the sea is big, and there are many minerals there, and we need to go after them. But we also need to, I think the whole thing is guided by ignorance. We also need to look at the whole thing in a holistic way, that, um, well, um, the ocean also govern the planetary system. If there is no ocean, there will not be life on this planet, because this is the only thing that cure all the waste coming from the land. And again, like I mentioned earlier, most of the climate system, they are set up from the ocean. And every time we put excessive disturbance, they create very, very big problem that takes years to fix.
Now, let's shift attention to the issue of commercial extraction. You know, this has been trailed with several controversies over the years. And as we speak now, commercial extraction is not being allowed by the International Seabed Authority. What are the concerns here, and what are your recommendations on how to manage these concerns globally?
My recommendation, I will start with recommendation, is for the regulatory authorities locally and internationally, um, to work together to diligently look at the impacts, to look at to identify all the hazards, and to also match if they can be mitigated or not, before giving authorizations and for deep sea mining, and also to involve the expertise, all the stakeholder and the expertise that is needed to make seabed mining works, and to also number three, to look into data, including historical data and new data, to compare everything, to uh, make sure that this data uh, they can be used as part of uh, the process to make decision for approval of deep sea mining, and also the science and engineering need to be done well. Like I mentioned earlier, the mining need to be modeled. Every aspect of it need to be modeled on computer to make sure that, okay, if things are done this way, this is what will happen. Can it be mitigated or not? The risk, if it can be mitigated, then they can give approval. Also, expertise related to environmental, biology, chemistry, all of this, they're also needed to look at what will be impact related to pollution and all that.
All right. There are also concerns for
Yeah.
regarding deep sea mining, concerns about the miners getting into areas that are beyond national jurisdiction. Is there a recommendation in that aspect?
Yes, there is always there have been a procedure for the use of international water, and our nations manage this. And again, I think issues about deep sea mining is being debated, and there is need for nations that share a water body to talk about this, to also exchange knowledge, to exchange studies, to, if possible, to jointly do it. But in foreseeable future, I do not recommend the mining of the seabed, because it will create more flood, more coastal flooding, and this is really not good for the coastal community.
All right. Norway made an history last week by being the first nation in the world to commercialize deep sea mining. Now, for a country like Nigeria, what will be the starting point for us?
The starting point will be, again, especially blue economy has to be data driven. Okay, data need to be collected, and risk need to be assessed regarding okay, where this mineral are, and technique need to be evaluated. What is the best technique to make sure there will be less no sediment problem, no biodiversity problem, no disruption of aquatic life, or destruction of the ocean systems, and how it is maintaining or curing or governing the planetary system. So this need to be done now. The business people mostly don't have time for this, and but this need to be done because yes, we are going to mine, but the problem will be created for the future generation.
Okay, so companies and governments who want to mine who are looking to mine the metals underneath the sea argue that it will aid the shift to a greener economy. How valid is this argument?
Like I mentioned earlier, there is a potential economic benefit, but the the impact is far more than the economic benefit. And it's just like, again, the case of nuclear power. Nuclear power is sweet, it's good, and you can keep generating energy, but there are the negative aspects are not good, like people exposure to radiation and even disposal of the waste. So for deep sea mining, I think is almost the same thing, and it is sweet. It sounds very good. That okay, we have the sea, we have to mine it, and we have to use the money to develop the economy. But we can maybe we can use the ocean resources in other ways, like for example, generating energy from the ocean. It's also like more or less like mining, but you are not breaking anything. You're just putting something to create something else.
Femi wanted to know exactly the threat of illegal mining. What would that cause for deep sea mining when it becomes operational? We already have illegal miners creating some menace in land mining. So how would that how would that happen in deep sea mining?
As you mentioned, it's illegal. That means the regulation system is weak. And one, for deep sea mining, like you said, they're already doing it, and this is not right, because when the problem starts, natural event problems start, the people that are doing it, they are not giving any records, so it's really compound how to solve problems. Now, one thing is, I think it's very, very important for the government to bring awareness, to educate the people that, okay, mining is not just about extracting the resources, but it's also about disturbing the planetary systems, and this require proper information to be documented about how much sand is being removed and what are the impacts. So, and anybody that wants to do it has to get a license for this purpose, so that they can record it, so that they can know when problems start, out to solve it. I think there is needs to have some education and awareness, yeah, awareness program for these people. And not only that, if people are mining, meaning the government should quickly intervene, maybe to involve in the mining or the industry, and involve these people in it. And then everything will become fair for everybody.
I'm not too clear if I got you right. You said the government should try and involve illegal miners in the business. I don't know, what kind of risks will that portend for the waters and that kind of business? How will that turn out? And then what is the tendency that these people can actually be managed or curtailed, the activities be curtailed? Isn't that dangerous?
Yeah, yeah. I have to leave at 4 o'clock. Yes, the tenants, these people are mining probably because they have an economic problem. Probably they are looking into ownership of, extracting what belongs to them. Now, if these activities is enhanced either by business or the government, then they should be able to employ these people. But that means the authorized people that can do this have to get the permit, they have to get the EIA done, environmental impact assessment, and thorough study done about the impact. Okay, that if they mine, there will not be flooding, that will erase the future generation, because this life is not only for us, but it's also for our children and our grandchildren, so that they can also have a taste of life that we live.
Let you go very quickly, but before you do, could you respond to the issue of sand mining? Now, this is not as grand or as big as deep sea mining for metals, but sand is constantly being extracted from the seabed, and we have these operations in several nations, including Nigeria. Some even extract from the seabed from rivers. Now, how dangerous is this? Is there a way to do this without actually disturbing the aquatic life?
It's very dangerous because number one, the seabed has a lot of link with how much waves is coming to the coast, and it can easily lead to coastal flooding. Okay, now for the river, if the river is dredged, widening because of siltation or because of sediment deposition, this is a different story. It's called maintenance dredging. So people need to be educated about this. To mine or to do something, a study need to be done that, okay, a problem is coming, and then they need to take out this amount of soil. Not everything. It's just like fishing as well. You just go to the ocean and catch all the fish. No, you have to do the stock. So when you want to mine, or you don't call it mining, but you want to do maintenance dredging for the river or for the channel or where the vessels are passing or for the coast, so that after some time, the data are showing that a lot of sediment have been deposited and they need to be removed. So everything needs to be done with data. And this is what we in Africa need to get used to. We need to start collecting data and do things based on data, based on information, based on knowledge. And this way, we have sustainable development that we are all looking at.